Hey everybody, welcome to today's video of the channel, and in today's video I have a commentary for y'all, and I want to talk about the new best schools to play in the new season of Wizard101. Now, as you guys know, the update has been out for probably about 3-4 days now, around that time frame, and I've played a lot of games on my Storm and my Fire. As you can see right here, I got up to 1965 on my Storm before I started getting sniped excessively, so I have a lot of experience between pretty much every single school, and I know it is very early on in the meta, but I did want to talk about what's going on right now, how each school plays, and how each school basically performs right now in the meta. Obviously, things could be subject to change as players adapt in the future, and we already have seen players adapt within the first couple of days, so it's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys have to say down there in the comments below for your tier list on your experiences in PvP right now. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video, y'all. Alright, so coming in at the #1 spot, I think I am gonna have to put Fire. Now, Fire, if you don't know, Fire and Storm have been the worst schools of 5th Age so far. Fire got a huge buff now that attrition just doesn't work. So since they have this huge buff now, it basically enables them to trap stack and also overtime. So what you'll see Fires do right now in the meta is they'll overtime with like an FFA and also trap stack. And because trap stack got indirectly buffed this update with no TC Jambos anymore, you can basically always have a permanent gambit setup. Then you combine that with the fact that S'more gives 3 traps or FFA, you can really lock your opponent in a place where if they overtime counter, they die to the Jhin, and if they trap counter, you detonate the FFA, and they die to, obviously, the detonate troll, right? Fire can even beat Storm right now, which is absolutely insane, and you don't really see a lot of lives queuing right now. And if they do queue, obviously, Fire has way more fuels than Life can have counters, right? And Life's blade percentage got nerfed from 55 to 15, so it's not like Life can kill Fire anymore. So Fire just basically beats everybody, including its counter matchups right now, if you're a good player. I'm really happy for Fire mains that have been suffering all of 5th Age, kind of the same as Storm. This update is pretty good for y'all. And yeah, obviously your stats on a Fire are really good as well. And let's get on to the next spot. Coming in at the #2 spot, I think I am going to have to put Death. Now, Death has been a really good school ever since the Lemuria came out and Grim Reader was introduced. And it's been either really good or really bad indirectly depending on the meta it has been in. Now, Death right now is really solid for a couple of reasons. In general, the school is incredibly powerful because of these stats you have. You have, I don't have my stats on right now, but you basically have 183 damage, 70 resist, 50 pierce, like really good crit block, and still 10k health. And then you, perfect pips, accuracy, P-serve, everything. Like, this school just has literally everything in the game right now. Combine that with the fact that weakness counters in general are not very good right now, and shield gambits are still pretty decent. Not as popular as they were, but they're still pretty good. Combine that with the fact there's Ghoul, and Grim Reader is the best shad in the entire game because of how much damage it does, and obviously the 235 chromatic weaknesses just absolutely destroy your opponent because they can't counter them, because the counters suck. Also, Vampire and Wraith are extremely overpowered and overtuned right now with the -60 and 65 weaknesses right now in the meta. So Death just really has a lot. Like, the stars have just aligned for this school. And, Myth got nerfed pretty hard as well. And a good Death can beat a good Myth right now in this current meta, assuming the Death, packs the counters and stuff like that. So your only bad matchup on a Death is maybe Balance and Ice. So if you set for those 2 matchups right now in this meta, you're basically not going to lose any games as a Death. Also, you can Kraken because your dual school synergy on this school to counter Fire, which is obviously the one better school. So Death literally just has everything right now. And yeah, that's why I think it's worthy of the #2 spot, guys. Coming in at the #3 spot, I was going to put Storm, but I think I am going to have to put Balance instead. Now, I was going to put Storm at #2 or 3 the first couple of days, but now that I've kind of, played a lot and stuff like that, Balance, I can say Balance is definitely probably better than Storm right now. And the reason Balance is better than Storm is simply because of their stats and their cards, right? Balance has some of the best stats in the game right now, and some of the best shads, and some of the best non-shads in the game. Combine this with the fact that you can have 5 words without giving up any stats right now, and you can have a permanent brace that makes you literally immune. This school can literally do anything. The Dark Pact pet as well obviously complements Balance extremely well, and Hydra is still broken. They just cannot seem to get this card right, no matter what Kingzal does. This card is just still way too good. So you can't really hit them and stuff like that. They do an incredible amount of damage. They take no damage. Their shads are insanely good. Hydra and Burn are like S tier cards as well. And that's really why this school is deserving of the number 3 spot on the tier list. All you have to do is pin and ward to other schools, and they literally cannot beat you because Brace and Set Resist. Coming in at the number 4 spot, I think I'm going to have to put Storm. Now, I don't want people to think that Storm is horrible, because obviously I put Storm at 4 before and said it's mid, and I don't think Storm is mid right now. I think Storm is actually like a little bit above mid towards good right now in the meta. Storm has a lot of things going for it. You still obviously have the objectively worst stats in the game by a landslide, like the big stat burden, which basically makes you have to heal. So right now on a Storm, you can't trade with people because of how bad your stats are and how overpowered Set Resist is. So all you can do is heal, but as long as your opponent sets for the healing half, you literally cannot do anything on a Storm, and you are shit out of luck. Don't get me wrong, on a Storm you can win a lot. Like I said, I almost got Warlord again before I got a bunch of bad luck and a bunch of snipes. So this school is really good. Definitely would not underrate it right now on this meta. I think people are overreacting a little bit with the pins and the words because they think Storm is so good since it got a heal buff. But I think it's probably just a skill issue of them not trying to counter the heal. I think a simple stat buff would just really put the school, you know, up to the number 1 or even number 2 spot sometimes. But again, it's really not a bad school at the moment, guys. It's just the meta doesn't really favor it because of Set Resist and the fact your stats are an extreme liability. Holy crap. Coming in at the number 5 spot, I think I'm going to have to put Myth. Now, Myth right now is still really good. Obviously, it just got a giga nerf with Betrayal and stuff like that, but you still have the best offensive stats in the game on a Myth right now. Your Yaga does more than a Rusalka, and obviously if you're doing more than a Rusalka, you're gonna out-damage literally every other school in the game. Also, Stone Colossus is only a spell that Myth can use right now, and it's just incredibly powerful when you combine this with all of these stats they have. You know, a lot of the time, the community has been complaining about how much damage Myth has and how much they're doing, and I'm kind of surprised to see Kingzal has not really addressed that feedback at all. They just say DPP, but it doesn't really make sense when a Myth is literally 1 or 2 shotting you 90% of the time. This school has a lot going for it. Right now, you just see a lot of people PvE still and stuff like that. I have seen some people try to detonate and do some cool stuff. I mean, I've seen it work a couple of times, but most Myths right now typically just PvE because, again, trap counters aren't that good right now. And obviously, when you only need 3 buffs to one-shot anybody because of your stats. You can also dual school with Fire on a Myth as well with like Glimpse and Fire Elf and go for like a Trickster Oni as well, which is really cool. I'll be trying that in the future on the channel here. So Myth is a really good school right now. I wouldn't say it's bad at all, even though it's number 5 on the tier list. If you're a good Myth, you can probably beat anybody right now still in the meta. Coming in at the number 6 spot, I think I am gonna have to put Life. Now, Life is not bad either. Life did get a bit of a rework. I'm not sure if you want to call it a nerf or a buff. Kind of somewhere in the middle. This update. Life still has extremely broken stats. You know, hidden heals are still really good. You know, I think they increased the value of Life's hidden heals as well. And Triton and Pirate don't work as good on Life anymore because you don't get the 2 shields or 2 blades back. You only get 1 now, so you're kind of losing value at the moment. But if a Life is stupid and does 2 overtimes in a row, obviously Triton and Pirate are way better, right? Burst healing and outgoing is still not limited, and again, combine that with Dryad, Satyr, Life's broken stats. This school is incredibly good, And right now we are in a pretty trap heavy meta, so Life is one of the few schools that can actually deal with traps and not die to 3 buffs by like a myth or a fire, for example. I've seen a Life almost get warlord in this season already. I had a good storm match against him. He's a pretty good player. And yeah, I think, you know, if you're a good player on a Life and you set for the meta, you can do quite a bit. School's not bad at all right now, but I definitely do think there are better schools at the moment, guys. Coming in at number 7, I think I am going to have to put Ice. Now, Ice is really bad this update, and it's kind of sad because I actually really like to play Ice. Now, Ice is bad for a couple of reasons, and let me tell you why. Storm absolutely dogs on Ice, you know. Fire dogs on Ice. Myth dogs on Ice. Shit, even a Death. If a Death wards to Ice, they can stomp Ice most of the time. And a good balance, if the Ice isn't set beyond belief, a good balance will probably always beat an Ice right now. You know, I saw Sauce's balance beat an immune Ice that was friends with the Stream Sniper guild on his stream, which is absolutely incredible. That was really impressive to see. Then obviously, like I said, outgoing, hit and heals, and, you know, burst heals are still really good on a Life. So basically right now on an Ice, guys, you just don't have any good matchups, and every other school is just pretty much better, and it leaves Ice in a weird spot of like, yeah, you might have broken resist, broken bubbles, stuff like that, but like the matchups just don't really work, you know? So I'm honestly not really sure what they could do to directly buff Ice, you know, like I'm not really sure what they could do to help the school. You know, like I said, you have Blimp, you have your stats. I guess Shield Gambits are kind of decent. Not really, but we'll have to see how the meta unfolds. But I hope you guys did enjoy this tier list. Again, let me know what you guys think about it down there in the comments below. I have played a lot of games, and I think this is a pretty good tier list, in my opinion, when it comes to things. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching this far, and as always, take care, y'all.